Hello everyone, Dr. Allan Mandell. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. If you're dealing with tingling hands, numb fingers, weak legs, or that strange pins and needles sensation, listen carefully because your body may be crying out for one thing many people overlook: collagen support. You see, collagen is not just about skin and wrinkles. Collagen is a critical structural protein that supports nerves, blood vessels, muscles, joints, and connective tissue. When collagen production declines, as it naturally does with age, circulation weakens, nerve insulation deteriorates, and inflammation quietly builds up. That's when symptoms like tingling hands, cold feet, leg weakness, and nerve discomfort begin to appear. Now, the good news is this: you can stimulate collagen support naturally, starting with what you eat every day. Let me share with you 4 collagen-rich, nerve-supporting snacks that can help restore strength, circulation, and nerve function, without drugs and without complicated routines. Listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you may explain why your hands tingle at night, why your legs feel weak when you stand up, and why no amount of stretching or supplements has truly fixed it. Deep inside your body, your nerves, joints, and blood vessels are quietly breaking down, not from injury, but from something far more dangerous: structural starvation. And one of the most powerful, scientifically supported ways to reverse this damage is something ancient, overlooked, and almost forgotten: bone broth. Long before modern medicine existed, bone broth was prescribed as a healing food for the sick, the injured, and the elderly. Today, science is finally catching up to what our ancestors already knew. Bone broth is not just soup. It is a concentrated infusion of collagen, gelatin, amino acids, and minerals that directly rebuild the tissues responsible for nerve protection, muscle strength, and circulation. When these systems fail, tingling hands and weak legs are often the first warning signs. Here's the shocking truth: after the age of 30, your body loses about 1% of its collagen every single year. By the time you reach your 50s or 60s, collagen depletion can exceed 30 to 40%. Collagen is the scaffolding that holds your nerves in place, cushions your joints, and strengthens your blood vessels. Without it, nerves become exposed, compressed, and inflamed. That inflammation disrupts electrical signaling, creating numbness, pins and needles sensations, burning, and weakness that many people wrongly blame on aging alone. Bone broth directly targets this problem at its root. When bones are slowly simmered, collagen breaks down into gelatin, releasing glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, amino acids that the human body uses to repair connective tissue and regenerate damaged nerve pathways. Studies published in medical nutrition journals show that glycine has anti-inflammatory effects on the nervous system and helps calm overactive nerve signaling. This is critical for people experiencing tingling, buzzing, or crawling sensations in the hands and feet. But it goes deeper than that. Nerves are wrapped in a protective coating called the myelin sheath. When this sheath deteriorates due to nutrient deficiency or chronic inflammation, nerve signals leak, misfire, and weaken. Research has shown that gelatin-derived amino acids support myelin repair by supplying the raw materials needed for nerve insulation. Without this protection, even normal movement can trigger nerve irritation. Bone broth is also rich in minerals like magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, and potassium, minerals that regulate muscle contraction and nerve communication. Magnesium deficiency alone has been linked to muscle weakness, cramping, restless legs, and nerve pain. Shockingly, studies estimate that over 60% of adults are deficient in magnesium, often without knowing it. Bone broth delivers these minerals in a highly absorbable form. Unlike many supplements that pass straight through the body, circulation is another silent factor. Poor blood flow starves nerves of oxygen and nutrients, accelerating nerve damage. Bone broth contains glycine, which has been shown in clinical studies to improve blood vessel flexibility and reduce arterial stiffness. More flexible blood vessels mean better circulation to the hands and legs, warmer extremities, and faster nerve recovery. There's also the gut connection, something many people never consider. Nearly 70% of your immune system resides in your gut, and chronic gut inflammation can trigger systemic nerve inflammation throughout the body. Bone broth heals the gut lining by sealing microscopic holes known as leaky gut. When the gut barrier is restored, inflammatory compounds stop leaking into the bloodstream, reducing nerve irritation and muscle weakness from the inside out. In hospital settings, bone broth-like formulas are often used to help patients recover from surgery, injury, and nerve trauma. Yet outside the hospital, people ignore this powerful tool, choosing instead to mask symptoms with painkillers that never address the underlying tissue breakdown. The most fascinating part is how quickly the body responds. Research on collagen and gelatin intake shows measurable improvements in joint stability, muscle strength, and connective tissue repair within weeks, not years. Many people report warmer hands, steadier legs, reduced nighttime tingling, and improved balance after consistent daily intake. But here's where most people make a mistake. They treat bone broth like an occasional comfort food instead of daily structural nutrition. Healing nerves requires repetition. 1 cup does nothing. 1 week is not enough. Collagen repair is a slow, cumulative process, but once it starts, the body responds powerfully. The way you consume bone broth matters. Slow-simmered broth from chicken, beef, or fish bones extracts the highest amount of collagen. Adding a small amount of acid, like apple cider vinegar, increases mineral release. Drinking it warm enhances absorption and circulation. And consistency, daily not occasionally, is what turns nourishment into repair. Bone broth also supports sleep, which is when most nerve regeneration occurs. Glycine has been shown to improve sleep quality by lowering core body temperature and calming the nervous system. Better sleep means deeper repair, stronger nerves, and more stable muscles the next day. Think about that for a moment. A single traditional food supports nerve insulation, blood flow, gut healing, muscle contraction, joint stability, inflammation control, and sleep, 6 critical systems involved in tingling hands and weak legs. Modern medicine often treats these as separate problems. Bone broth addresses them as one interconnected system. Your body was designed to heal, but it cannot rebuild without the right materials. Tingling is not random. Weakness is not inevitable. These are signals, early warnings that the structural foundation of your body is weakening, and bone broth is one of the most direct ways to reinforce that foundation naturally. If you ignore these signs, nerve damage can progress silently. Studies show that untreated nerve deterioration can become permanent over time. But when you intervene early, by supplying collagen, minerals, and anti-inflammatory compounds, you give your body the tools it needs to reverse the process. This is not about trends. This is not about supplements with fancy labels. This is about returning to a form of nutrition that sustained humans for thousands of years. Bone broth doesn't stimulate. It restores. It doesn't mask symptoms. It rebuilds structure. So the next time your hands tingle or your legs feel unsteady, don't dismiss it. Listen. Those sensations are messages. And 1 warm cup of bone broth a day could be the beginning of restoring strength, stability, and nerve health from the inside out, one slow, powerful repair at a time. Listen closely, because what you're about to hear may completely change how you look at one of the most common foods on your plate. For decades, eggs were praised, then feared, then misunderstood. But buried beneath the cholesterol myths is a powerful scientific truth. Eggs are one of the most critical foods for nerve strength, muscle control, and collagen regeneration. And ignoring them may be silently accelerating tingling hands, weak legs, and nerve decline. Your nervous system runs on electricity. Every movement, every sensation, every step you take depends on precise electrical signals traveling through nerves. But those signals don't travel through empty space. They require insulation, fuel, and repair materials. And one of the most important nutrients for that system is vitamin B12, a nutrient found abundantly in eggs, especially in the yolk. Here's the shocking part. Studies estimate that up to 40% of adults over 50 are deficient or borderline deficient in vitamin B12. This deficiency doesn't always show up on standard blood tests until damage is already happening. One of the earliest symptoms? Tingling fingers, numb hands, weak legs, poor balance, and muscle fatigue. These are often misdiagnosed as just aging, when in reality, the nervous system is starving. Vitamin B12 is essential for maintaining the myelin sheath, the protective coating that wraps around nerves. When this sheath breaks down, nerve signals slow, weaken, or misfire entirely. Research published in neurology journals shows that prolonged B12 deficiency can lead to irreversible nerve damage. Eggs provide a highly bioavailable form of B12 that the body can absorb and use immediately. But eggs don't stop there. They are also rich in choline, a nutrient so critical that scientists call it a building block of the nervous system. Choline is required to produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter responsible for muscle contraction and coordination. Without enough acetylcholine, muscles don't respond properly to nerve signals. This leads to weakness, trembling, and delayed reactions, especially in the legs. Here's a disturbing fact. Over 90% of adults fail to meet the recommended intake for choline, and yet one single egg provides nearly 30% of your daily requirement. When choline levels drop, the connection between brain, nerve, and muscle begins to break down, quietly, slowly, and dangerously. Egg yolks are also packed with sulfur-containing amino acids. Sulfur is not glamorous, but it is essential for building collagen, repairing connective tissue, and maintaining joint stability. Collagen is what keeps nerves properly positioned and protected as they travel through muscles and joints. When collagen weakens, nerves become compressed, stretched, or irritated, leading to pins and needles sensations and weakness. Research shows that sulfur compounds help reduce inflammation in connective tissue and improve joint lubrication. This matters because inflammation around joints, especially the spine, hips, and knees, can compress nerves that travel to the hands and legs. Many cases of tingling don't start in the hands or feet at all. They begin in inflamed joints higher up the nerve chain. Eggs also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants known for eye health, but increasingly recognized for their role in reducing systemic inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the biggest contributors to nerve degeneration. Inflammatory molecules damage nerve endings and interfere with signal transmission. By lowering oxidative stress, eggs help protect nerve tissue from this slow, invisible destruction. Then there's protein quality. Eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids in perfect balance. These amino acids are used to repair muscle fibers, strengthen connective tissue, and stabilize joints. Weak legs are not just a muscle problem, they are often a nerve-muscle communication problem. Without adequate protein, muscles cannot respond efficiently to nerve signals, leading to instability and fatigue. Clinical studies have shown that older adults who consume high-quality protein sources experience better muscle retention, improved balance, and reduced risk of falls. And eggs rank among the most efficient protein sources available, especially for aging bodies that struggle with digestion and absorption. Now let's address the fear that kept eggs off people's plates for years. Cholesterol. Modern research has made this clear. For most people, dietary cholesterol from eggs does not significantly raise blood cholesterol levels. In fact, eggs often improve HDL, the good cholesterol which supports blood vessel health and circulation. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reaching nerves in the hands and legs. Poor circulation is a major driver of tingling and numbness. Nerves deprived of oxygen begin to malfunction. Eggs support vascular health through nutrients like phospholipids and antioxidants that protect blood vessel walls and improve blood flow. How you eat eggs matters. Overcooking destroys sensitive nutrients, especially B vitamins. Soft-boiled, poached, or lightly scrambled eggs preserve the nutrients that nerves depend on. 1 to 2 eggs per day is enough to provide meaningful support without excess. Think about this. A single food that supports nerve insulation, neurotransmitter production, collagen repair, muscle strength, inflammation control, and circulation, that's not a supplement. That's real food medicine. When people remove eggs from their diet, they often replace them with processed breakfast foods that spike blood sugar. High blood sugar damages nerves directly. This is why nerve symptoms are so common in people with insulin resistance and diabetes. Eggs stabilize blood sugar, reducing glycation damage to nerves and blood vessels. Your body is constantly repairing itself, but repair only happens when the raw materials are available. Tingling hands and weak legs are not random. They are signals of breakdown in communication, structure, and nourishment. Eggs provide the exact nutrients the nervous system uses to rebuild. And here's the most important part. Nerve damage doesn't scream, it whispers. By the time pain becomes severe, damage is often advanced. But tingling, weakness, and numbness are early warnings, and early warnings can be reversed. 1 egg at a time, you can supply your nervous system with the nutrients it desperately needs. Strength returns, sensation improves, stability comes back. Not because of magic, but because biology is finally being supported. Food is information, and eggs send a powerful message to your body. Rebuild, protect, and restore. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to explain may reveal why your tingling hands, weak legs, and nerve discomfort haven't improved, even if you're eating healthy. The problem may not be what you're eating, but what your body is failing to absorb. And at the center of this hidden crisis is your gut. This is where Greek yogurt and kefir become far more than food. They become biological repair tools. Here is a fact most people never hear from their doctor. Over 80% of nerve-related inflammation does not start in the nerves themselves. It starts in the gut. When the gut lining becomes damaged, inflamed, or imbalanced, it triggers a chain reaction that affects the immune system, blood vessels, and eventually the nervous system. Tingling hands and weak legs are often the final signal, not the beginning. Your gut lining is only one cell thick. When it becomes compromised, a condition known as increased intestinal permeability, or leaky gut, toxic particles and inflammatory compounds leak into the bloodstream. Scientific studies show these particles trigger systemic inflammation that attacks nerve endings and disrupts nerve signaling. This inflammation interferes with collagen repair, worsens circulation, and accelerates nerve degeneration. Greek yogurt and kefir directly target this root cause. Both are fermented foods rich in probiotics, beneficial bacteria that restore balance to the gut microbiome. Clinical research has shown that probiotics reduce inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein and cytokines, which are directly linked to nerve pain, numbness, and muscle weakness. When inflammation drops, nerves regain their ability to communicate clearly. But here's the shocking part. More than 70% of adults have some degree of gut imbalance, often without digestive symptoms. You may not have bloating or stomach pain, yet your gut could still be silently blocking nutrient absorption. That means even if you're consuming collagen, B vitamins, and minerals, your body may not be using them. Greek yogurt and kefir dramatically improve nutrient absorption. They enhance the uptake of calcium, magnesium, B vitamins, and amino acids, nutrients essential for nerve transmission and muscle contraction. Magnesium alone plays a role in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including nerve signaling. Deficiency is strongly linked to muscle weakness, tremors, and restless legs. Kefir goes even further. It contains up to 3 times more probiotic strains than yogurt. Some of these strains have been shown in studies to influence the gut-brain axis, a direct communication highway between the gut and nervous system. When this axis is disrupted, nerve signals become erratic, leading to tingling and weakness. Restoring it calms the nervous system from the inside out. There's also a powerful collagen connection. Greek yogurt and kefir are rich in protein, including amino acids like proline and glycine, which are required for collagen synthesis. Collagen is what stabilizes nerves as they pass through muscles and joints. When collagen weakens, nerves are stretched, compressed, or irritated with every movement. But protein alone is not enough. Collagen repair only happens when inflammation is low and absorption is high. That's why fermented dairy is so powerful. It creates the internal environment required for healing. Now let's talk about circulation, because nerves without blood flow will fail no matter how many nutrients you consume. Poor circulation deprives nerves of oxygen and glucose, causing them to misfire. Probiotics have been shown to improve endothelial function, the health of blood vessel walls, making circulation more efficient. Better circulation means warmer hands, steadier legs, and faster nerve repair. There's also blood sugar control, one of the most overlooked contributors to nerve damage. Repeated blood sugar spikes damage nerves directly through a process called glycation. This is why neuropathy is so common in diabetes and prediabetes. Greek yogurt and kefir help stabilize blood sugar by slowing digestion and improving insulin sensitivity. Stable blood sugar equals protected nerves. Here's a fact that should stop you cold. Nerve damage caused by chronic inflammation and poor blood sugar control can become permanent if ignored. But studies show that early intervention, especially through gut-focused nutrition, can significantly improve nerve symptoms within weeks to months. Greek yogurt and kefir also support immune balance. An overactive immune system can mistakenly attack nerve tissue, worsening tingling and weakness. Probiotics help regulate immune responses, reducing autoimmune-like inflammation that targets nerves and connective tissue. How you consume these foods matters. Sweetened yogurts cancel the benefits by spiking blood sugar and feeding harmful gut bacteria. The research is clear. Unsweetened Greek yogurt or plain kefir delivers the greatest neurological benefit. One serving daily is enough to begin shifting the microbiome toward healing. Adding natural anti-inflammatory compounds amplifies the effect. Berries provide antioxidants that protect nerve cells from oxidative damage. Chia seeds or flaxseed supply omega-3s, which strengthen nerve membranes and improve signal transmission. This combination creates a powerful, food-based therapy for nerve and muscle support. Think about the magnitude of this. By healing the gut, you reduce inflammation. By reducing inflammation, you protect nerves. By improving absorption, you rebuild collagen. By stabilizing blood sugar, you preserve nerve endings. This is not symptom management. This is system restoration. Your body does not heal in pieces. It heals as an interconnected whole. Tingling hands and weak legs are not isolated problems. They are downstream effects of internal imbalance. Greek yogurt and kefir correct that imbalance at its source. And here is the most important truth of all. Your nervous system is adaptable. It responds to the environment you create inside your body. When you nourish that environment with the right bacteria, proteins, and anti-inflammatory compounds, nerves regain strength, clarity, and resilience. Healing does not begin with pills. It begins with signals. And every spoonful of fermented nutrition sends a clear signal to your body. Calm the inflammation. Absorb the nutrients. Rebuild the structure. Restore the strength. This is not ancient wisdom. This is modern science, finally understanding what food can truly do.